It's Mornings on the Beach right here for Father's Day weekend and summer solstice. Sunday the 21st is the summer solstice. Also Make Music Day all over the world, and especially here in Long Beach. While we were taping the show that aired last weekend, I got a message on my phone that our newsman, Michael Heiter, texted me, and I thought I'll get back to it when we're done taping the show. When I looked at the message later, I realized it was from his wife. Michael had passed away that morning. Michael came to KLBP in the spring of this year. He joined the internship program that we have with the Long Beach Post and KLBP. And when he first came to the interview, I thought, well, I'm used to students mostly in their late teens, early 20s. Michael was 72. He desperately wanted to get an internship, and we thought, oh, if you're willing to jump in, go for it. And it's exactly what he did. Both feet just sprang into the deed. He got to work right away and learned how to write public service announcements, how to create some news roundups, which you've been hearing on the air. And when he graduated, or shall I say, when he finished the hours for the internship ahead of graduation, offered him the position of news director here at the station because, frankly, we had no one else watching that end of the store. And Michael was so excited to jump in and help out. Not only that, we could count on him to always show up at our marketing events when we publicized the station. In the streets, at street fairs, Michael was always there, willing to help set up and also represent the radio station. So when I got the news of his passing, it hit me hard because I realized that it's tough to find anybody who's passionate about this work, let alone to find somebody who's just willing to jump on in and help out and always be of great cheer. He was always smiling. We were always cracking each other up with jokes. And I got to say, I never had to ask Michael for his work. It always just kept coming into my mailbox, and you heard it right after that on the air. And I want to play the interview that we did back when Michael started the internship. We invited them to come in, a couple of our interns, and be interviewed on the radio station. And here is what that interview sounded like. I go to the Dives for a bean and cheese burrito.
Right.
That's my Monday, every Monday. Yeah, that's my treat, right? And I go and I've been doing a search. Now, I've done 10 restaurants. And it depends on the cleanliness of the restaurant. I swear to God, it's the flavor of the beans are reflected in whether that grease has been there forever. You know, I of course, I'm making that up. I'm sure they clean enough to get an A. If they have an A. I always check.
Yeah.
But it's always strange to see like the old Dives, man, they're great. There's a place on Anaheim near Martin Luther King, right across from the Aldi now. You can smell it when you go by. Chicken smells incredible. They're cooking it right outside. But that restaurant looks like it froze in 1972. Seriously, wood paneling all over. It looks like but what about the food is incredible. So it's about that for me. But if it's too new and too bright and too what, sometimes it doesn't have that.
I can't stand new wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm planning on going to for a week to England and spending a night in Scotland so I can see the Edinburgh military tattoo. And I'm a Delta Airlines person, but most of the transatlantic flights are on Virgin.
Oh.
And I'm not interested in flying on Virgin because they're too new wave. They're you know.
What would you rather have?
I would rather have a standard issue, plain meal. PLANE.
Oh, I see. When it comes to their meals.
I don't need frou-frou.
Yeah, if you want really good food, fly on Turkish Airlines. I landed in Istanbul completely stuffed. They fed us they woke us up in the middle of the night to feed us. Here, eat some more, drink some more. It was great. Yeah, the service was really wonderful.
I don't care who created this. Just I want to eat.
You want a good old standard airline.
Exactly. I'm meat and potatoes.
But Michael has good taste in airlines because Delta is commonly ranked as the best quality of the American airlines.
They're pretty good.
Well, great. Yeah. How about you, Gabrielle? Any places you frequent that you
Actually, speaking of the bean and cheese burrito, I don't know if you've been here, but La Chancla
Yes, I
on
have.
10th and
Now-
Cherry is a favorite Mexican food restaurant of mine.
Tell me about their flavor of their beans is a little different. Maybe it's an adobo or there's something else in there because it has a flavor that none of the other bean burritos I had.
They could be like pork beans, maybe.
You know, it might be.
Yeah.
There you go. Because it had sort of I can't explain it, but I knew right away that it wasn't your standard
You're the bean expert.
greasy, lardy. I love that.
Yeah.
I was surprised yesterday to find that there was tubs of lard on sale at Northgate. Like 1 gallon tub of lard, $7.99. I think to myself, oh my God. And there were hundreds of them. I guess a lot of people still cook with it.
Yeah, I think I believe my mom does,
It's the only way.
and La Chancla tastes similar to my mom's.
It's the
Mexican
only way to
cooking.
make your beans taste right. You
Yeah.
got to have a little lard in there. That was a secret to my grandmother's beans, which she kept away from her daughter-in-law, my mother, because she didn't want. My father used to go eat my grandmother's beans. He'd skip my mother's because my mother couldn't cook good beans. So when my grandmother was on her deathbed, I asked her to give me one secret, and she gave me the secret to her beans, which is really simple. Just throw a big dollop of lard in there. And that's the story,
Just
right?
soaks up all the flavor.
But she said to me, don't tell your mother.
You
You gotta love that. On her way out, don't tell your mother.
That's so funny.
Some of the old country stuff is amazing. Like, I'm really not a big fan of tamales, but my dad's second wife's family was from Costa Rica, and every year at Christmas at her parents' house, they would have this big Christmas thing. They had like 40, 50, all of them relatives, just an incredible group. And the tamales were unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
they're
the
the best.
only tamales I've ever liked in my life. And it was just this lady, the grandmother, who just made these things. It was like, wow.
Lard.
Probably.
The answer.
It was the 60s, so yeah. that
Yeah,
was
you know,
legal
for
then.
me, if I'm having an issue with digestion, a
Yeah.
good corn tamale will fix me right up. I must be because I'm Mexican. It's just that way. Our interns are here with us. Michael Abriel is here. David is here. Thank you, guys, for stopping by for a second and being part of our show. David, we're going to encourage you to get out on the beat and be a regular on our show because you do have a way of finding something that nobody else sees. So, or at least we didn't. We missed that bakery. So that's great. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
That was from back in February of this past year. Michael Heiter, who became our news director, first our public service coordinator, and you hear his voice on our public service announcements to this day on KLBP.
KLBP-FM is proud to announce that we will be marching in the 43rd Annual Long Beach Pride Parade on Sunday, May 17th, with step-off scheduled for 10 a.m. In addition to a unit in the parade, we will also be broadcasting. For KLBP News, this is Michael Heiter. Long Beach native and women's sports trailblazer Billie Jean King received her bachelor's degree in history on May 18th at California State University, Los Angeles. Ms. King, 82, completed a journey that she began in 1961 when no scholarships existed for women in sports. To give you an idea, Supervisor Janice Hahn is sponsoring an anonymous gun buyback event on Saturday, June 27th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Martin Luther King Jr. Park. All guns must be transported unloaded in the trunk of a vehicle. They will be evaluated For KLBP News, this is Michael Heiter. Students in the Long Beach Unified School District may soon see a reduction in the current high school graduation requirement of 4 years of mathematics to 3 if a new plan is adopted. The new program would replace the Summertime is almost here, and with it comes Harbor Tour season. The Port of Long Beach is offering its traditional free tours of one of the busiest ports in the country. The next registration will take place on Monday. I am about to get my bachelor's degree, and I've got all I can handle. This man has 2 PhDs. I asked him why.
Because the first that I did was on practical theology, and
For more information on locations of the boxes, to check your registration, or request a ballot in a different language, visit lavote.gov. A public service reminder from your friends at KLBP-FM.
We'll miss him greatly, and our hearts go out to his family and all his friends. I was at his graduation only, I would say, less than a month ago, and he was over the moon. And the picture you'll see on KLBP's social media of Michael shows that. He was marching with us in the Pride Parade, and like I said, he leaves a very big hole in our KLBP family. But as I got to reflecting, I realized that's not the first time that Mornings on the Beach has lost a news person. Back in May of 2021, I was doing the show Mornings on the Beach here on KLBP, and our news guy, Jeff Kaufman, didn't show up one Monday morning, and we didn't normally think anything strange because Jeff was occasionally called his own holidays. However, upon checking, Jeff too had passed in his apartment in Hollywood, bringing shock to the Mornings on the Beach family. And here's what we said about it at that time.
On with the show.
Good morning. It's Monday morning here on Mornings on the Beach, and we gather together here with a real heavy heart. Some people may have found out on social media that we have been affected by the death of our partner, our friend, our co-host, Jeff Kaufman. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Jeff and not really do a show. I can't imagine bringing light right now, something to light. So we're just going to talk about how we're feeling. My name is Danny Lemos. Let's go around the room. And so who's here today?
I'm Charlie Sharp.
I'm Mike Stark.
I'm Nick James.
And I'm Dr. Ani.
I'm X-Ray, and
I'm Pat Gorman.
Yeah, we're all here, friends of Jeff's, and we have survived a weekend that's sort of shocking. I got to say, nothing happened like that before. Getting a phone call and finding out that it didn't turn out well. Looking for Jeff as we were last week. Remember, he wasn't here, and we figured he just took some time off, and as Jeff was wont to do. And then, we found out over the weekend that he didn't show up for work, his other job, and that's serious stuff. So they sent someone looking, and like I said, his friends from work found him, and he's no longer with us. And so we don't have any more information than that. I spoke to the folks at LAPD because I guess my text was one of the last ones he received when we were looking for him on Tuesday, and he did not respond to that or to his bosses. But I don't know how you guys are feeling. I'm just sort of feeling like I just want to talk a little bit about our family. It's been a long time here on the show, and I met Jeff in Kiss FM in 1981 in the newsroom. He was an intern.
Time ago.
Yeah, Liz Fulton was his boss, and Lori Lerner actually was his boss, and they were working in the newsroom. Jeff was 18, I think just over 18 and a half years old.
Just a boy.
Yeah, and a twig, and a twig he remained most of his life, a very skinny guy, and but one of the funniest men I knew, and then also over the years was able to develop his talent on this show. Jeff was never on the air anywhere. He was always a producer behind the scenes, a writer and editor, and this was the place where we got a chance to hear him and his talented way that he could communicate a news story, and of course showcase his writing talents. And then we fell out of communication, I think, for about 20 years. And then we were doing a show called the Homecast Show out of my house in Long Beach. Liz Fulton was with us on the show, and she said, you know what, you got to call Jeff. And I did that afternoon, and Jeff was with us every day after that. And it was Jeff that actually brought the name the Upside Down Times, which was the 2007 recession. And he named our show, gave us a log line, and it really was. And then, of course, we changed that up to Mornings on the Beach when everybody else copied us and became the Upside Down Times and their morning shows. So it was an interesting thing. Jeff's always been the one to sort of brand us. He designed our first logo without our pictures in it, just the name. And also did most of our backdrops and sent them to us for our Skype call. So he's, of course, for the news guy, it was interesting that he was the graphic artist as well on the show as well. But not yet 60 years old, and like I said, a shocking loss for the Mornings on the Beach family. How do you guys, when did you meet him? Did you meet him when we started the show, right, Charlie?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I went back to yesterday, I mean, I was having, just to give a preface, I was having a very bad reaction to my vaccine. So when you called me on Saturday, I was in another world. It was just terrible. And like, I thought it was a fake call after we talked. I was so out of it. And I woke up on Sunday morning, and then it sort of hit me because I was reading the text messages. But I want to say we met doing the Homecast show at your house. And then Jeff was with us. We used all the new technologies because of our locations. He was up in Hollywood. We were in Long Beach. Yeah. And I think that's about the first time I met him. And I was also just there when you were talking, trying to go back to one of our very first remotes. I want to say, was it in downtown Long Beach at the Long Beach bookstore, right? The Long Beach State bookstore.
Oh, yeah. The books... the 49er bookstore on 2nd Street.
Yeah, so we had Jeff was there, Joseph Brown was there, my mom was there.
That's right. And a whole bunch of drunken Santas.
Everybody there. Yeah, it was, and that was one of the, one of our we also did a remote together at the grocery store. It was the grocery store.
Gelson's, when we opened Gelson's. Yeah. And I remember we have a picture of Jeff somewhere. I'll post it on Facebook where he's sitting there doing the news. He's actually writing the newscast. We'd never seen him do that before.
I mean, that was the thing with Jeff, was he sounded so, I'll pull the veil down. I mean, on air, we sound so much different than when we're prepping this stuff, right? And Jeff literally would run up. So Danny and I were kind of filling air time, and Jeff, he's literally typing. He's 2 feet away from me, typing feverishly and editing audio while Danny and I think we were interviewing Joe Cipriani. And then when it came to Jeff's spot for the news, boom, he was right on. He had all of his voice spots with him. I mean, it was just incredible how I think he really had the art of on the fly, if you can say that, much better than I know. For me, I have to go in like almost 100,000% prepared. But for him, he always could pull it out of the hat at the very last second. And and you didn't know it. You sound like he wrote that an hour ago.
It was amazing. And sometimes he would just astonish us with what he'd come up with. He'd always be a little like he's running to the deadline. And I was thinking, if we're really going to we are at some future date, we're going to do a good memorial and let you hear some of his wonderful talent. But I always thought if we do that, we have to start late. Because that was Jeff. Jeff just cut it by the deadline, right? We would be here on Skype at 4:59 p.m. We taped at 5 p.m. And we'd start the show, and at 5:01, Jeff would pop on, and he always made it.
Well, no. Say it. So as we're doing, as you guys, when you hear us on air, you hear the opening, and then Danny's first, I'm second, Mike, right? Yeah. And then literally, Jeff would pop into the screen as I'm doing my intro. Jeff would pop into the Skype screen, and then I would throw it to Mike, and then Mike would throw it back to Jeff, and then Nick. When Nick joined us, so and it was, and you never knew.
Did he miss a beat?
It just sounded like he was there the whole time. With us.
Never missed a beat, and was always professional about that. And I gotta just say that we, for the first time, sort of pulled back the veil on Jeff last week, and so we had some fun because he was late, and we were making fun, had a great laugh over it, and that was the last time we got a chance to tribute Jeff. And it was just one of those things that I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss the way he used to say, and now you know what we know. That's just going to get me because that was his trademark slogan. He brought that to the show, never announced it, just did it. And then it became part of that show. At the same time, he was somebody I knew very well enough where he was the only person that would take me on the air. A couple of times Jeff remember when I got into the Palestine conflict and I was awkwardly backed into it. And he stopped and he said, I've never heard such, I forget what he said.
We were live on air when that was happening. That wasn't that was way before COVID. Yeah, we were live.
My chonies were wet after that one because I was on live trying to protect my show while he's taking me down.
Did you get bleeped?
Yeah. No, but he was just he used those kind of words you only use. I wish I could remember exactly what he said.
Yeah. He was always the one that brought us all back to
He sure
earth.
did. Yeah.
Yes. Whenever we'd get off on some news story that maybe was a little too left wing,
we get nuts about it. Yeah,
And not that he was a progressive himself, but if we got too crazy, he would always reel us back in and bring us back to back to the center and say, listen, we have to be responsible here. So he was always that guy.
And Mike, your relationship with Jeff was really just on camera, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking pretty much virtually is all I ever dealt with Jeff, except for I can think of two instances
Weren't you
where
at the studio, Mike, one time? I think you were at the studio one time.
Well, I was there for the IBS convention, which Jeff attended, so I saw him there. But also, you guys came down to ironically, you guys came down to the studio when I had the studio to do a tribute to Liz Fulton.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Jeff was the spearhead behind the Liz Fulton tribute, which is still out there and available. So.
And and I thought we have to do something also for Jeff, and we'll put that together. I just need some time to go through the tapes, and I just want to just take some time to just sort of. It hasn't sunk in. It's not real yet. I think it'll be real in about a week or so when the emotion just hits. But I'm sort of the shock of losing a pal and a co-host. And Dr. Ani's with us as well. And thank you so much for being here. And did you get a chance to spend much time with him? Or just on-air relationship?
You may not really remember, but I met him when we started Brains Are Sexy.
Oh.
And I would be training, and I would come in and listen to your show, and Jeff would be on air. And, he clearly had a big brain. And that's the one thing I knew, that I get paid to assess people's brains. I do not get paid for radio. So I was a total rookie, made a lot of mistakes. And he was always so patient. He always wanted to share what he knew. And, it wasn't this boys club. I walked in, he wanted to share what he knew and help, build up and empower other people. And he clearly knew a lot and was very articulate. But I was looking forward to getting to know him better now that I was, I'm on Morning on the Beach. I just want to say we're all so sad. I just want to say I love you guys. When I heard this, probably out of all of you all, he's one I know the least. And I just really love you guys. This is a blow to our family. And I didn't know him that well, but wow, it was a gut punch. And
for everybody that
we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him.
And I'm hearing from everybody in the radio community. I forgot how connected he was to everybody in the radio community, television, him, and right now his colleagues at KNX are mourning as well. So there's a lot of folks that we want to pull together. Lance Orozco, my heart goes out to Lance over at CLU over in Thousand Oaks, because Lance was the one who came and helped the police discover what had happened. And his brother, King Kaufman, who I've been in touch with over the weekend and lives in San Francisco. And so together, we've sort of just been, everyone in shock, I got to say, in shock. But with Jeff, it was... probably for me, the thing that I remember the most was that we met during the height of our careers. At least our careers took off. And then we didn't talk for a while. And then one day I'm sitting outside of the Coffee Bean on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. And Jeff comes along. And it was a time in his life when his career was in a low. He was probably at the really lowest part of his life. And we connected over the fact that we both thought we were such successful guys and didn't realize we were having the same similar problems. And so that's when we really connected again as friends in our adult life, and has helped each other out for the rest of the time we knew each other, just being part of this friendship that we gathered together. It's Mornings on the Beach here on Monday. We're actually talking it out. There's no really format for today. We didn't feel like we're doing a newscast, but we don't want to talk about our friend and colleague Jeff. And play a little bit of music. And we're going to play another song right now and come back in a second here with some more comments. And this is One Fine Day.
I took your presence for granted, but I always cared. And I miss the love we shared.
Mariah Carey and Voice to Men, One Sweet Day. And I gotta say, if our colleague is smiling down from us, could you pick some winning lottery numbers? That would be so Jeff. Help.
Yeah, send them our way.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
We have to cut him in.
Yeah, of course. We are, in our way, we're sort of getting out the feelings we have about our colleague passing over the week past. And here on Mornings on the Beach, he was a part of it from the very beginning. I mean, literally, created high definition news because we were high def, or we were HD radio, HD3. And that of course, is not what high definition or HD means, but he decided that HD, high definition news, would be his brand. And he did it for the last 13 years, every morning here on Mornings on the Beach. And I say he brought a lot of gravitas to our show, because otherwise we were just a bunch of fools talking about whatever happened. And Jeff sort of made it, started off the day every morning with the facts that were out there, just as and then he also was not afraid to take on the media and the way that journalism portrayed the stories, important stories of the day, and how they were handled by reporters. And of course also over the protests over the summer, the way reporters were treated. I mean, he really did have that journalism bent. And we recall also that he was part of the journalism staff here at Cal State Long Beach. Worked a couple of years back in the journalism department as an adjunct professor. And also here on KNX. Worked for the last, 3 years now with KNX as a news editor. You heard his name every Friday at 9:55 a.m. and they read the credits every year.
If they didn't get him wrong.
Yeah, well, there you go. And what did you just got to know him through me, right? On the show. That's X-Ray.
Right from the from the studios down at 22 West Media.
Right. And then you guys sort of always had this. First of all, X-Ray always wanted to do news stories, and that was Jeff's turf. So we'd also see that they would always step on each other's toes, but it was always a good friendly kind of thing, a lot of fun. And then of the last person I think who got to know him here on the show was Nick, and we made a joke last week. Hey, am I taking Jeff's place? And I thought, wow, hey, that might be a way to pass the baton. To a new journalist taking that time, but wow. Huh?
It's hard to beat somebody that has gone to the Annenberg School of Journalism at USC, where Jeff was, and replace them. But again, like you said, passing like any major TV show or radio show, or whatever. There's always passing the baton.
Yeah.
It happens.
I know he would probably say, "Yeah, go for it, man." He'd probably say with relish, "Go for it." But also forgot that he won an Emmy. And never let you forget it, because it was on the shelf behind him every morning when he went on camera. That's just.
I do this. I do the same
Me
thing.
too.
If I want an Emmy, are you kidding me?
And a golden mic. I mean, Jeff was our award-winning Jeff Kaufman in the High Definition Newsroom. That's going to be so strange not to say that again, and throw it to him. And I got to say the other thing too is there was a rhythm that you just established. I could literally look away and catch up on the things I needed to do on the show while he was doing the news. I always knew he handled it like a pro, and never let us down in that way.
Well, and he set a professional tone every time he'd come on that this just wasn't, a frat house, commentary or something. He always, there was always that professionalism with him that, you even when I'd play one of my crazy records or whatever, for whatever, whatever reason, I always had to think about what was coming before it, which was Jeff. So I had to think, okay, if this is going to lighten the mood or if it's going to make the mood more, sad or whatever. So, we all miss Jeff immensely.
As a sort of a crew, we always fight for airtime. And I got to say, there were some moments when Jeff would do 21 minutes of news at the top of the show, and I'm like, "What the heck? What are we going to do?" So you never knew, but it was important to him to get the stories wrapped up in the right way, and to
Danny, it was always fun to see your eyes, though, because I could tell, through your eyes, you're like, okay, and I could almost see your fingers tapping, I wonder how this is going to go. I could see the nervous, and it was always fun to see that kind of play back and forth between you two, because you said, nobody really took you on except for Jeff.
Oh,
and
he would
just
correct
as a psychologist, it was fun to observe from the sidelines.
Just watching. Well, Jeff and Charlie were pretty much my radio polyamorous relationship every morning, because we were here all the time and got to know each other. There was a rhythm. And then Mike joined the show. How long ago, Mike? Now, goodness gracious.
Well, it's
2
been about
years?
a year. About
A
a
year?
yeah.
No. It's longer than that, because you were in the studio with us when we were live.
That's true. So it's been a little over. Well,
yeah. And,
somewhere in that area.
Fell into
How many live shows did you do in the studio, Mike? Was that about a month or two?
Is that it?
Yeah, but I didn't come in every day. I didn't start doing the show every day until we went virtual.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to drag my butt out of bed and drive down to the.
And there was, I got to say,
to be honest with you,
as Charlie said, pulling the curtain back. So the thing about Jeff was, I don't know if you knew this, he hated doing this show on tape. Hated
he absolutely hated it.
Because a newsman wanted to be up to date. And so
he was a news guy from head to toe, and this whole tape thing would just.
I should go back and pull some, because sometimes he'd come to the show right before and be so upset. You never heard it on the air because he was a total pro. But boy, he was sometimes, and I got to say, the best talent I've ever worked with, and I said this before on the show, you're a diva. And Jeff was a diva to the end. He just got to have his way, and the way it went, like I said, when he would show up exactly on time when he was needed. He didn't need to show up for the pre-show because, he's going to do his thing. But I got to tell you, the number of times he said to me, when we do this show live.
A couple weeks ago, about 2 minutes after the show went off the air, we all got a text from Jeff that said, "Damn it, Walter Mondale died."
Yeah, right after the show ended. He was so upset.
He was pissed.
I know what he wanted to do, and he didn't do it because he knew how I'd react, which is he wanted to go back and retape the news for that show.
We have to also mention that, Jeff did a lot of things in his career, and one of the things he did was he made those packages.
Yeah, those OBIT packages.
What would you call them, Danny?
The OBIT packs. Yeah, the OBIT packages.
Like soon to be. So they apparently the networks pick people who they think, okay, Danny's gonna, this is his year. So then they make a package. So if it happens, then they can just jump to the tape. So that was one. So we used to tease Jeff all the time. I did anyhow. That he was the dead person packet maker because he was so good at it. Yeah, he was so great at it.
And here's the thing I'm really upset with, and it was funny because when you think about this, I was very sad and I couldn't. But what made me laugh was I thought, damn it, Jeff, you left before you did my OBIT package.
Yeah, I wanted one too.
He was supposed to be the one that did that here on the show on Mornings on the Beach, as we remember our colleague Jeff Kaufman right here in the morning with our recollections.
Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Like my father has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends. Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when September ends. Come and past, the innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Ring out the bells again, like we did when spring began. Wake me up when September ends. Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when September ends. Summer has come and passed, the innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Like my father's come to pass, 20 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends.
That's Green Day. Wow, does that song take on another meaning in that context that we're talking about today? Remembering our colleague. It's a special edition of Mornings on the Beach. Remembering there, Jeff Kaufman, our previous news guy from 2021. And then earlier in the show, remembering Michael Heiter, our news director here at KLBP, who passed last week at age 72. This is Danny Lemos, and thought we'd reach back into the archive closet and pick out a couple of other interviews. But first, I want to remind everybody, this is Father's Day weekend. It is also Make Music Day. We are celebrating that in Long Beach. I think there's over 33 different stages, musical stages, all across Long Beach, in people's garages, in front of storefronts. And for KLBP, the live stage will be at Ocean Boulevard and the Promenade across from the Marriott Hotel. You'll find the Beach Hut Deli. That's where we'll be from 12 noon until 4 p.m. We'll be broadcasting live from that location. And of course, you and the family and the dog, everybody's welcome to come on down and join the fun. It'll be happening all day. It starts at 10 a.m. all over the city. It gets going around 12 noon downtown for the KLBP live stage and continues on into the evening. So if you want to check out where it is all happening, you can go to makemusicday.org/Long Beach, and you'll see all the locations. Or just go to the KLBP website and click on the artwork there on the main page, and it will take you to that website where you can find out who all is performing, where are they going to perform at, and at what times, and all the information. It's all part of an international day of music taking place, as I said, all over the world. And here in Long Beach, we're proud to be a sponsor of Make Music Day right here in our hometown. It's Mornings on the Beach, and like I said, reaching back into the closet for an interview that we thought you'd like to hear again. And here's a selection I've made for you. It's great.
Hey, we got something special now. Our next guest watched the Venezuela situation.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it is easy for me to say. As we all did, but within a couple of days, there was a fully produced, amazing song about the situation. Aaron Lee Tasjan, do the songs always come that quickly?
Welcome to the show.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, I'm just trying to figure out a way to break the Jesse Wells songwriting barrier, if at all possible. It's a mountain to climb for sure, but yeah, I'm doing my best. But I think sometimes we have those very immediate reactions to immediate emotional responses to things that we see, going on in the world. And a lot of times, I think when it comes especially to, issues where morality and human nature are involved, oftentimes your first instinct does tend to be the correct one. If something feels like injustice, or it might be happening for maybe not the best reasons, the response to that can be pretty immediate. And I think a lot of people seem to, that I was seeing weigh in on social media, seem to feel the same way that I did about it. And that song just kind of came out, and I put it up, not really as an attempt to release a song or anything like that, just because I thought maybe it might help somebody that needed to hear something like that in the moment. And
well, I was amazed.
I think as artists, that's the best we can do sometimes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I was amazed. First of all, it's something that when the next war pops up, it'll apply to that as well. But you talk about Jesse Wells. He goes out into a field and strums a guitar. You produced it. You put it together like it was a full studio piece.
Yeah, it was. Honestly, I really don't know why I did it that way. I just think I felt compelled to, kind of maybe put something together that wouldn't necessarily only live on the internet as a video. Not knocking that format at all. It's obviously, a way that we all have to sort of get along in the world at this point. But I do think that one of the things that is special about music, is that you can kind of take a song anywhere with you, even if it's just in your head, But I wanted to create something, that could live outside of just that world on your phone, of little videos that we watch every day. And so maybe a bit of the intention behind creating a whole track for it kind of came from that.
Okay, you're going to be coming out here and doing some shows on the West Coast. You don't come out here a lot, but we're going to talk about those dates in a minute. And I would also ask you to maybe consider being on my other show, which is a full hour-long. Sorry.
Hey, quit scalping our guests.
Yeah. Hey, I booked the guest.
Oh, good point.
Anyway, and we'll cover more things on the LA Radio Session show down the line if you're willing to do it down the line.
Absolutely.
Aaron has spent a lot of time collaborating with other musicians. recently producing the great Todd Snider's album. I want to talk about your work with Todd, but first, I'd like to dive into the distant past and talk about your roughly a year with the legendary New York Dolls.
Oh, wow. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2009, and I had a band in New York called Semi Precious Weapons that Tony Visconti produced.
Okay.
And through Tony and our then manager, who was an amazing rock and roll character by the name of BP Fallon, who was Derek Taylor's press assistant at Apple Records in the 1960s. And so we knew of BP, who had actually managed a portion of Johnny Thunder's solo career post the New York Dolls. And BP got Tony Visconti to produce us. And through all of that, I kind of came to know some of the guys in the Dolls a little bit, and including Steve Conti, who was playing the Johnny Thunder's role in the New York Dolls at the time. And he and his wife were having their first child. And Steve called me up and asked me if I could maybe fill in for him for a little bit while the band had a tour while he and his wife were at home with their new baby. And I was a massive fan, massive Dolls fan, so I was more than happy to do that. And I learned, I think, 35 New York Dolls songs. Oh, wow. And I showed up to a rehearsal space in Midtown Manhattan, and David Johansen came in, and we would play about a verse and a chorus of one of the songs, and then David would stop the whole band and say, "Sounds good, let's do the next one." And we did, probably only about maybe 10 or 15 songs, and he felt satisfied. And then met those guys at JFK Airport the next day, and we got on a flight and flew to South America.
Wow.
And played some shows in soccer stadiums with the B-52s.
That's great. That's great. Listen, I know that you and others who were Todd Snider collaborators like Elizabeth Cook and Chuck Mead have been making the radio and podcast rounds paying tribute to Todd. I know that group was a tight-knit team based on a lot of things there's a movie out and all sorts of other things. Has doing the radio and podcast tributes served to help you cope with the loss of your friend?
I was just thinking about that this morning because, of course, last night there's a wonderful public radio station here in Nashville, Tennessee called WMOT Roots Radio, 89.5 on your FM dial. And
we're buddies with Anna Lee.
Oh yeah, man! I love Anna Lee. She does the Local Brew, which is such an important show.
In fact, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Anna Lee is out here right now because I worked with her at KNAC, which was the heavy metal station here in LA, and we're having a 40th anniversary this week, and she's part of that. So she's out here now. That's probably why you didn't see her at WMOT.
Well, please tell her I said hello, because she is just the coolest.
She is. She's awesome.
I am such a Anna Lee fan, man.
Okay. So anyway, you did WMOT.
Yeah, we did a little tribute to Todd last night. A songwriter round with myself and Hayes Carl and Elizabeth Cook and the great Chuck Mead from BR 549. And it wasn't easy to do, it was like so many of those kinds of concerts that you're having when you've lost a beloved member of your community. Yeah. You're kind of looking out into the crowd and you're seeing a lot of emotion there, and it can be a really tough room to read in terms of what to say in between songs. But luckily, when you're there with people like Hayes Carl and Elizabeth Cook, who are just a never-ending Rolodex of amazing one-liners and beautiful, really funny but heartfelt sentiment, you can't really go wrong. So I thought this morning about how much, as challenging as it was for me to do that, how much it also helped me to do that and to be there in community with those people who also knew and loved and worked with Todd, and hear all the treasured memories that they have of him, and it helped me to understand how much I'm not alone in my grief for the loss of my dear friend and mentor. So yes, and to make a very long answer even longer, yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. I'm going to get you on my show at some point. I'll get back with you on that, and we'll talk about all sorts of things, including the great album that you just released last year. Absolutely fantastic. But let's talk about the West Coast dates. What do you got? What do you got going? And it's coming up soon, right?
It sure is. Yeah. At the end of this month, I'll be coming out. We're starting on the 21st of January in Pioneer Town at the Great Pappy and Harriet's.
I'm wearing a Pioneer Town t-shirt right
awesome.
now.
She
I'd like to
is.
point out. I love Pappy and Harriet's. I mean, a Pappy and Harriet shirt.
Awesome.
And I love Todd Snyder.
Yeah, me too. And then, yes, the 22nd, I will be at the Wayfarer in Costa Mesa. And then on the 23rd, I will be playing at McCabe's Guitar Shop in Santa Monica, California.
Great venue.
Great spot. And then we are going to head north after that, all the way up to the town of Healdsburg, where I will play a really cool listening room called Little Saint. And then we are sold out for our show in Petaluma. So if you were hoping to make it to that one, we hope to see you next time.
That's awesome.
Congratulations on that.
Well, listen, we really appreciate you taking the time to do this, and we'd like to have you introduce the song.
Oh, yay!
That we're about to play, that you just came up with in the last. It's art, instant art, as I like to say, and you created it. Tell us, introduce the song.
Yeah, this is Aaron Lee Tastian, and you're listening to my new song, Big Business.
Every damn war is big business. Kaboom, ka-ching, it's a terrible thing. Every damn war is big business. The children bear witness as the gunshots ring. Somebody tell me please, make it make sense. Fighting for peace. If God came down and took a look around with your reasons to kill, put God at ease. Every damn war is big business. Kaboom, ka
as Melanie said, it's what artists do, right? They
Right.
respond, and that
And
song
thank God
is so
for it,
great.
man.
Timely, not
Yeah.
something else. It's a Mornings on the Beach for your Saturday, Sunday infotainment. Danny Lemos right here.
Mike Stark.
Melanie Ray.
A couple of greatest hits from our KLBP archives for this weekend as we take a break and get ready for Make Music Day, which is Sunday, the 21st, right here this weekend, right here at, well, we're going to be at Ocean and the Promenade, right? The Beach Hut Deli. That's the KLBP live stage. You want to check us out. All the information's on our website at klbp.org. That's it for this very special edition of Mornings on the Beach. I want to thank everybody who's volunteered for KLBP. It takes a special kind of person to give your free time and to keep this art form, radio, keep it alive and teach it and pass it along to others. And this show for me has been a tribute to all those people that have helped us, and especially to our former Mornings on the Beach co-hosts, friends who've passed away. I just wanted to bring some special attention to them this week and also pay special tribute to our news director, Michael Heiter, and salute his family and friends. Really, Michael was a big part of this family, and as I've said before on the show, he'll be sorely missed. From Mornings on the Beach, I'm Danny Lemos.